Hey guys, what's up? My name is Midnight Strike 3625, and I am going to be reviewing the debut album by Trivium entitled Ember to Inferno. To start off, this album was released in 2003 and contains a few demos that were actually released on their EP mere months before this album hit the shelves. So, to get started, this has 12 tracks on it, 13 if you include Demon, but that was actually taken directly from the demo. This was really the only one that wasn't re-recorded. It was on a special edition, but it was just kind of tacked on. So my feelings for that song are relatively the same, or exactly the same, moreover, as they were for the blue demo, as they like to call it, EP. So, to start, the first song is entitled, let's see, Inception, The Bleeding Skies, and you know, I gotta say, this is kind of a weird one. This is, I mean, it's just a little 30-second snippet of sound bit, and, you know, to start an album of this quality with something so small, it's just, it seems kind of a little redundant and a little bit out of place, to be honest. So, this one I didn't really like very much. I didn't think it was a good way to start the album, especially considering the quality of some of the songs on the album, but, you know, moreover, this is an album that really isn't their best, but isn't their worst in that aspect, because about 3/4 of the songs on this album are just spectacular. So, you know, the re-recordings sound a little bit distorted in the production, so the production really isn't up to par with later albums, especially Ascendancy, which is my favorite in terms of production, but that's for next video. So, you know, like I said, Inception, The Bleeding Skies, not my favorite intro, not really up there for me, but Pillars of Serpents, getting into Pillars of Serpents, this is a very aggressive song. I mean, the distortion on the guitars fits the atmosphere perfectly, the screaming is very aggressive, and I gotta say, I like all the solos in there that they throw in there. The cleans could use a little bit of work, but other than that, it is a very sound song. So the next one is If I Could Collapse the Masses, and this one has a lot of melodic bits in it, especially in the chorus and some of the riff structures, the verses, and, you know, the cleans, though, could use a little bit of work, especially 3/4 of the way through the song. They seem like they're just really wavy and really out of place, and again, it just sounds like they recorded the songs and then put them through kind of a distortion filter. I don't know really how to describe it, but the production on this album as a whole, Pillars of Serpents it fits, and on the title track it fits, but on some of the songs the distortion just kind of rubs the wrong way, and sometimes a cleaner distortion or a cleaner guitar tone would actually benefit the songs more than the distortion that they chose. So, like I said, Ascendancy is probably my favorite when it comes to the production. So, the next one is, of course, Fugue of Revelation in this one, and this is a re-recording of the EP version. So, the thing with the re-recordings is it sounds like the same song, roughly. At least the guitar and the instruments do. But as far as which versions are better, more often than anything, I would choose the Trivium EP versions. I would choose the Trivium EP versions over the Ember to Inferno versions. However, the drums, as I said on the EP versions, are very hollow sounding, are actually very full and very fast and very aggressive on these new ones. So, you know, Fugue of Revelation is actually one of those rare cases. It was just called Fugue on the EP version. Fugue of Revelation is actually one of those rare cases where I actually like the version present on Ember better than I do on the EP. So, I don't know, it just sounds more distorted, it sounds more raw, and it sounds like they're actually putting a lot more emphasis on the aggression and on the emotion and on the passion of playing. I don't know. It's just something about this version just strikes me as the better song. So, and then of course we get into Requiem, which, you know, they play it a little bit faster, they bring out the intensity, has the same kind of distortion to it as they do on all the rest of the songs on the album, but this is one where the clean guitar tone would work better. I actually still like the drums a lot better on this version, but the clean sort of, you know, distortion on it, and, you know, the fact that they play it a little bit slower on the EP actually benefits this track a little bit. Requiem was my favorite track on the EP, still my favorite song on Ember, aside from Pillars of Serpents and the title track, but I do like the original version of this song better. It just sounds like they recorded it, the same thing, sped it up a bit, tweaked it a little and put it into that distortion filter that I really don't know how I feel about right now. But, like I said, there are differences in the vocals. You can definitely tell with the aggression and the intensity of the screams. It just sounds like he's screaming as fast as he can. And, sometimes when you go as fast as you can, as aggressive, most aggressive as you can, that passion and that emotion and just the feel of the overall song is just lost in the mix. So, the cleans just seem very rushed in the chorus, especially in this song, the Requiem, in this version. And when I first listened to it, I just couldn't get into it. I don't know what it was, if it was, the production or what, but I do like the song now. I'm getting used to it, but I do like the EP version better. So, next one is, of course, Ashes or Ember to Inferno, excuse me. Ember to Inferno, the title track. And what can I say about this one other than it's badass? It fucking rocks. I love the beginning, I love the structure of the song and all the riffs, and it's just a very, very just aggressive and intense song. You can definitely just feel the aggression, especially in Matt Heafy's screaming, and there's some cleans in there that, there's the wavy cleans as well, which was found in If I Could Collapse the Masses. They didn't really fit in that song, but they do fit in this one. It just adds to the atmosphere of the song. So everything is just spot on with this. It's one of my top picks. So the next one is Ashes. There we go. Ashes is a almost minute-long intro into To Burn the Eye, and I found it to be a little bit unnecessary. I mean, To Burn the Eye was the first song on the EP. Like I said, it has the bluesy riff in there. It has the very varied structure. Sounds like one of like a Metallica song a little bit, albeit a little bit more bluesy. But like I said, Ashes, not really a good intro. That's really one of the biggest problems with this album, is the intros and the outro. The outro's alright. I actually do like the outro, but the intros were just unnecessary, in my opinion. To Burn the Eye, though, same story as with Requiem. It's played a little bit faster. Sounds like it's put through a distortion filter. Although it is a different recording, it sounds like it's the same thing, but a little bit more aggressive, moreover. I actually, like I said, like the EP version a little bit better for the clean guitar tone. Well, not necessarily clean, but just more clean. It just sounds more crisp. I don't know. It sounds clearer and more crisp. And with this distortion, sometimes, the sound quality is lost in the mix. I would accept it if these were the demos, because these sound a little bit more like demos. So I can kind of see where Trivium was going with this production style, but it definitely was nothing. It was definitely no Trivium EP. So I still can't believe those are demos. The production was just spot on with that. So the next one, of course, is Falling to Gray. This is my least favorite song on the album. I don't know. The guitars were just really boring to me. The riff structure in general was just very monotonous, and it felt forced. It felt very contrived, and just kind of, I don't know, just boring, I guess. I don't know. I really didn't like this song that much. It was my least favorite song on the album. My Hatred, same story. It's got a bunch of good riff structures in it, but it's a little too slow for my liking, and some of the singing and the screaming are just a little bit off, and it feels a little bit on the repetitive side. The next one, When All Light Dies. This one has some really good guitar tones in it, some really excellent riff structures, awesome screams and everything. Not one of my favorites on the album, as it feels a little bit disjointed, but it is not a bad song. And the next is, of course, the closer, and it's called A View of Burning Empires. And just the structure of it, and pretty much everything about it, the bridge, everything is really good in this, but the only thing is, it could have been collapsed or combined with When Light Dies, or When All Light Dies, moreover. So I don't know why they did it that way, no idea. But overall, this isn't their best album. They would actually go on to do a lot better. It's not as good as their EP. Their EP was a little bit more fleshed out, and this one, I think they were just going for a more, just raw metal kind of feel. They wanted to be heavier, and I can definitely see what kind of direction Trivium wanted to take, but they would actually bring back, the amped up bass in their second studio album, which is called Ascendancy, and I will probably be reviewing that in a few days. So, like I said, overall, not their best album, not their worst. but I would definitely give this album a solid 8 out of 10. So with that, I am Midnight Strike 3625. Keep calm and rock on.